Good morning, India, and welcome to Gunner Shot and all those from P Gurus also. Iran, day 32. How are the cards stacked? And to discuss all this, I have with me Sree Iyerji. Welcome, morning, India, and welcome to Sree Iyerji.
Good morning, India, and a warm welcome to all of our viewers wherever you are watching it, Ganeshot or P Gurus. A request to all of you, those who have not yet subscribed to our channels, to subscribe to our channel, can also subscribe to the other channel. Sir, thank you so much for this setting up the whole thing. We are having a lot of data to share today. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, before I get on to data, there's an important update which Sree Iyerji wants to give. So I'll put that on, and then I'll get into what I have to talk of. Yeah,
Yes,
over
indeed.
to you, Sree Iyerji.
Thank you so much. Three things that happened last night. First of all, in the Hormuz choke point at 400 hours, 0400 hours, a fast attack boat, or maybe more than one, attempted to lay mines, and these were shot down or thwarted by US and coalition naval forces. They intercepted them and they kept the thing open so they could not put any new mines. Then there was also a cyber grid attack, and this cyber grid attack was on the supervising control and data acquisition SCADA systems. And in this, you remember, viewers, that in 2020 in Mumbai, the grid was taken down for 13 hours. And it was believed that the SCADA for that was again tampered with. And in that case, who the culprit was. I'm not saying anything in this case, but what has happened is this has been successfully isolated and the threat has been neutralized. Third thing is, OPEC is coming together with an emergency session in Vienna to discuss ways to release surplus capacity so that the price of oil can be kept at 120 or below. But this was before we had the announcement from Trump, where Trump said that tomorrow 9 p.m. EST, that is Eastern Standard Time, is going to make a major announcement. We'll be talking about that also. Over to you, sir. Please like this video. Over to you, sir.
Oh, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for what you have said. Let me get back to what we started with. Keep whatever Sree Iyerji has put in the overall picture, and I'll take you through a few paces and where we are and how the whole cards are stacked. And of course, Sree Iyerji, whenever you feel there's a thing, you just button and we'll take it forward from there. Yeah, look, Lavrov came out with a statement yesterday that, we are in the middle of reshaping of a new world order. That's important. So what we're going to see further going to be very interesting for everyone. It's just not for USA, India, Iran, all of us. A new world order is emerging. The old ideas have to break. They have to break in our head before you understand the physicality of this whole story. Look, already this war, this is something which I got it today morning as I was opening. The effect this war has had on a lot of countries. Just think, I'm from Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Slovenia, Philippines, Myanmar, Thailand, Laos, Vietnam, Kenya, a whole lot of things. I don't want to go into the whole thing. Universities closed, fuel caps, alternate driving days, fuel exports banned, things like that. That creating stabilization funds, work from home, rationing, the works, and it's just not that. It goes on to India, Egypt, China, South Korea, Japan, Spain, Germany, UK, EU, storages, export bans, and all those things. Same, what I can repeat it. For those of you who are really interested, I'm leaving this. I've shown this. I'm not going to hold the thing in place. Right? Understand, there's a major impact which has happened. People are going to take time to recover from this war. As and when it finishes, it's not finished. Right? And so the global order has to change. I just thought I'll give you this detail. If I go through this, we can spend the next 1 hour just discussing this. What does New York Times say? Trump makes conflicting predictions of end of war in Iran. We'll hear what Mr. Trump says. Right? He seeks to redefine regime change in war against Iran. Is he changing the narrative or something has happened? We'll discuss both, right? So, okay. And then, of course, Al Jazeera says US Israel strikes hit Iranian steel plants. Oh, that's been on for the past 4 5 days. And they're hitting the IRGC plants and denuding IRGC of its businesses. Trump says war to end in 2 to 3 weeks. He's maintained it. It's going to take 2 to 3 weeks more. So we're going to look at the almost full April. Okay. And Trump tells, this is an interesting thing, tells all allies, get your own oil. Says Iran war could end in 2 to 3 weeks. He's very clearly said, you want oil, go whatever you want to do from Hormuz, do whatever you want to do. I'm going to do what I'm doing and I'm going to quit. Okay. Yeah. Then, of course, after Strait of Hormuz opens, turmoil would still last months. On that, let's not have any doubt. Yeah, look at what South China Morning Post. They are talking of something completely different. They are on a different planet, it appears. It's here in the third, fourth line. They say Iran doesn't have to make a deal. Trump says, yeah, wo. So we have to understand why this is happening in China. I'll kill it here, right? So that we don't have to get back. China is worried about regime change. Any regime change, ye wo, which happens in Iran, scares China. And they can't see or they can't even think of Iran going under in public. So they're keeping it off. Please understand, there's a psychological issue here. There's a communist way of thinking which is coming to the fore. And I'll talk of it today evening. Okay. Casualties are almost static for the past 24 hours, 48 hours, because not much action has actually happened. Right. Now, Iran has come out and threatened they will hit all kinds of, IT majors, Cisco, HP, Intel, Oracle. There's a long list of all, American companies they're going to hit, and we're going to hit AI companies, all that. But, well, that's typical of Iran to do all that. And Arakchi still says, I'm not negotiating. He says, we've received messages from US, some direct, some through regional friends, but no negotiations have taken place. So they're trying to get something out of this whole story and reaffirm themselves. But interesting, for the past 24 hours, ever since yesterday morning, which we came out and showed that strikes and all that, the clip which we showed, which Donald Trump put out, there have been no action or anything from Iran. That's the interesting thing. No strikes from Iran. So obviously, whatever happened yesterday morning is sent shockwaves through Iran. And we're going to analyze that. And I'm going to take all of us out and show you, this in full. What I want to tell you is, if you guys are all seeing this on your mobiles and
Sir,
all
reset
that,
the marker to beginning. Sir, reset the marker to beginning. The video.
Yeah, I'll do that. Don't worry. No, there's not a video. I'm not showing the video.
Oh, okay.
I'm not showing the video. Okay.
Okay.
Please see this, what I'm going to show you hereafter, in full on a TV screen or on a laptop screen. Otherwise, you'll miss what I'm saying. On a mobile, you'll not see it. Okay. We'll start with this story of yesterday, where Trump posted this massive explosion and secondary explosion, and the missile sites were hit and all that. So I went into the whole story. I said, let's deconstruct and give you the reality of the whole thing. And so the reality is this. This is the unclassified document or the file which US CENTCOM has put. First strike, then you'll see all secondary explosions happening. Oh, a lot of secondary explosions have happened there. Okay. On that, there's no doubt. You see all those, these are not strikes. The first was a strike and the rest are all secondary explosions. This is a movie without sound, so if you've not heard it, that's it. Okay. But the interesting part which I saw was this. I saw this tweet. Someone, Muhammad Awaz, I don't know who he is. He says, this is the rocket city in Mount Sophia in Isfahan. And it is an area that is subjected to intense shelling. On this night, if you look closely, you'll see Mount Sophia is located next to parts of the city which poses a danger to people's lives. Billions and billions were spent on projects were destroyed in movements, while the majority of Iranian people live in a state of poverty and deprivation. Well, that's way of looking at it, I completely agree with him. But what interested me was the pictures he posted. If you see these pictures, these are all missile launching sites prepared. And then I said, okay, Mount Sofe, this must be the place. So I went into Google and started searching. This is the area. This is Mount Sofe. This is Esfahan around this. The mount, right? Now you see this entire area here. If you see this, very faintly you will see some pockmarks here. Very faintly you see some pockmarks here. Some lot of pockmarks here. Right? You must see it on a TV to understand what I'm trying to put across to you people. Okay? And I'll zoom on to it. These are the missile launching sites. It from top it appears as this is plains. It is not so. I'll show you a 3D relief. Okay, you look at it. This is the southern part. See the pockmarks. All these pockmarks are all missile launching sites. Very interesting. See this. Between this mountain and this mountain and this valley, you see these sites. How many numbers? You can't even think. And look at this. Look at this. Okay. See the number of sites. And just look at this picture carefully for one moment, and you'll see the depth emerging. Right? You'll see the depth emerging of this entire missile site. Now, let me explain this to you. This is Isfahan city. This is Isfahan city here. And this is Isfahan city here. And this side also is Isfahan city. You'll see this mountain range. You see this mountain range, this valley, and this side, and this valley. And if you see the missile sites and this entire area,
Right.
complete. Okay, the flat parts are all, and you can see these, you know, pockmarks here, which I was showing earlier. Look at this pockmarks here. Look at this pock. As you see it closely, the pockmarks come out, and you have to get used to the picture. And if I'm sure by now, those of you seeing it on a screen or a laptop or anything, get that relief which I'm trying to show. You can see the depth of the thing. Okay, I'll just zoom into one place. Look at this. This is a small hillock here. Look at the number of sites around. I've just zoomed in. Okay, and look at this. This what I'm showing my pointer on. Look,
Underground cave
these are all the
entrances.
tunnels. These are all
Yeah.
tunnels. Look at these tunnels. Look at so you see the service road. You see a network of roads, missile launching sites, and the tunnels and all that. What were these chaps doing? They would probably come out of one tunnel, go to some site, fire, run back through the nearest tunnel and get inside. Right? So you take this out, it doesn't matter. Okay? They didn't know, how to handle it. I think now, very conclusively, the strike yesterday was very serious. And I think some of these missile sites inside have been damaged. And that is why from yesterday there have been no strike from Iran. I've shown all this to you, Shree. I want your views on this. And this is analysis which will lead on. What is your impression? And you've seen the strikes yesterday. And what is your impression of this whole thing and how that issue? Yours.
General Shankar, thank you so much. Viewers, if you look at this, and my guess is that maybe 80% of all the missiles fired may have been from here. And the way this was attacked was one set of B2, I think, went in and created the holes, deep holes. And then another set of aircraft went in and fired into those holes. Something similar to what I think was done in Ops Sindur. Sir, you can give in the details.
No,
I don't have all the details.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I have no this thing as to how these chaps did it and all that. But the very important part of this whole story is this. This missile site has been taken off. That I'm very sure.
Completely decimated. That's true.
Right.
That's true.
So there's been taken off. Okay. Iran might have more missile sites. But the thing here is USA has found a way to deal with these missile sites.
Yeah.
Right? I think the bulk of the missile sites were here. And just think, Iran put all these in the center of a city.
Correct.
Right? Just think how they care for their population or not and all that. So I think this is a decisive strike. And after this, yesterday, a whole lot, the American establishment, right from Trump to, Admiral Brad Cooper, they came out and gave statements. And it is as if it's a celebration, a victory celebration. So we'll go through that also. Right. Now, this is what Trump put out yesterday. He says, look, all countries that can't get jet fuel because of the Strait of Hormuz, like the United Kingdom, which refused to get involved in the decapitation of Iraq, I have a suggestion for you. Number one, buy from the US. We have plenty. Number two, build some delayed courage. Go to the strait and just take it. So he said, look, I'm going to do what I have to do. I've done what I have to do. You want fuel, you can buy it from me or go take it from Hormuz on your own, open. So he's in a way transferred the onus on opening of Hormuz to others. But let me tell you beforehand, the Strait of Hormuz is already partially opened. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Now let me go take you through this. You'll have to tell me if you can hear me here or not.
Yeah.
If you can't hear, I'll show the actual thing.
I'll
Right?
put my thumbs up, sir.
Yeah.
We have emissaries, but we also are dealing directly. And
Yes.
as you know, we agreed to send 8 boats 2 days ago, and then they added another 2, so it was 10 boats. And now today they gave us as a tribute, I don't know, I can't define it exactly, but they gave us, I think out of a sign of respect, 20 boats of oil, big boats of oil, going through the Hormuz Strait. And that's taking place starting tomorrow morning.
So if we saw, I showed a picture clip side by side,
Right.
which shows that
Movement.
there is
Yeah.
traffic
Yeah.
in the Strait of Hormuz. Of course, it's not fully open, but the traffic in the Strait of Hormuz has increased quite a bit. That's the important thing. And Trump is saying what he has to say, and I think he's quite right about it.
For the next couple of days, a lot of boats going through. We're negotiating with them right now. They've been, again, we have had regime change. Now, regime change was not one of the things I had as a goal. I had one goal. They will have no nuclear weapon.
So he's now coming out. I had only one goal: take out the nuclear weapons. He says regime change has taken place. These are about 3 clips which I put together. Okay.
That goal has been attained. They will not have nuclear weapons.
Mr. President, the Iranian government threatened a bunch of U.S. companies today in the region, including Google, Apple.
With what? What did they threaten them with? PP guns?
Well, that's
They don't have much left to threaten.
my question for you is: are you?
I don't know. I mean, what are they? You made a say. What did they threaten them with? I don't know.
So
Yeah,
look,
serious, but
what
we
I'm
also-
trying to put across is your views, because he says no, Iran is no threat. Virtually, that's what he said. Iran can't threaten. With what will they threaten? Right? Your views on this before I go into the next thing.
General Shankar, like I said, and when we were seeing the Isfahan center, looks like 90% of their missiles, as well as the place from where they were launching, looks like that was figured out and they have taken that out. I'm sure there are more. It's just that at this point of time, they have a way to deal with this. Once in a while, something may sneak in. And today, UAE has said that we are mobilizing completely. They are coming on board. And so there is some sort of maybe an agreement where UAE says, okay, we will take care of these things, have a token force from the United States to sort of man the Hormuz Strait. And but officially, US will say, okay, now we are handing it off. That's what that tweet said. That was a very clever tweet, in my opinion. You don't want to participate, but you want your oil.
Yeah.
That BB gun was a little tasteless, though.
Yeah, that's okay. That right, and so that's the actual thing. Now it doesn't end here, because I'm going to show you more clips today, right, to get you the idea of what the American establishment is thinking. This is Marco Rubio.
Many Americans are asking, why did the United States have to attack Iran now? Well, let me explain. Iran wants to have nuclear weapons. Of that, there is zero doubt. If what they truly wanted, which is what they claim, is nuclear energy, well, they could have nuclear energy like all the other countries in the world have it. And that is, you import the fuel and you build reactors above ground. That's not what Iran has done. They build their reactors and their facilities deep in mountains, away from the public glare, and they want to enrich that material. The same equipment that they could use to enrich material for energy, they could use to quickly enrich it to weapons grade. So it is clear that they've been offered every opportunity to have a nuclear program that allows them to have energy, not weapons, and every single time they have turned it down. But why the attack now? Well, what was Iran trying to do? Iran was trying to build a conventional shield, in essence, have so many missiles, have so many drones that no one could attack them, and they were well on their way. We were on the verge of an Iran that had so many missiles and so many drones that no one could do anything about their nuclear weapons program in the future. That was an intolerable risk. Under no circumstances can a country run by radical Shia clerics with an apocalyptic vision of the future ever possess nuclear weapons. And under no circumstances can they be allowed to hide and protect that program and their ambitions behind a shield of missiles and drones that no one can do anything about. This was our last best chance to eliminate that conventional threat, that conventional shield that they were trying to build. And the president made the right decision to wipe it out now. That is the goal of this operation, to destroy their conventional missiles and their drone program so they can't hide behind it and finally have to deal with the world seriously about never, ever having nuclear weapons.
Well, a lot of this appears to be in hindsight, right? Now, having said that, so what do you feel about what Rubio has said, Sree?
Sir, I've been saying this for a while now. This series called Tehran, which I think was done by Israel, the season 3 ended exactly a month before the actual action started. General Shankar, January the end was the last episode in that season 3. Season 4 is not aired. It's so close to what really played out. It is so close. In fact, the religious leader's name is Larijani in this fictional stuff. So my point in saying that is Israel has mapped out everything about Iran. There are lots of people who don't like this regime because without the help of such people, they would have not been able to show that series so close to the real thing. That I'm drawing parallels here. Oh my God, this happened. It's like, you guys, you were given a preview of what's going to happen 4 weeks ahead. 4 weeks is very short time to do any prep, I guess. But 2018, I think, that's when United States broke the JCPOA with Iran, saying that, you are not keeping up your end of the bargain. So from that point forward, they should have known that US is going to do this. After all, why did they break it? Because they said that US continuing to enrich uranium. And then I think towards the end of that year, Qasem Soleimani was taken out. You're getting all these, hints back again and again. Don't do it. And if I remember correctly, the head of their nuclear project, this fellow had family outside of Iran. And I think one of his granddaughters celebrated a birthday. And a picture of that, sir, this is very important in the sense that see the level to which Israel has, gotten into their system. So what has happened is that picture, when he opened it, that revealed his location, because till then Israel didn't know where he was. And he was taken out very, very quickly after that. And you know how they did that? This is something that we should all understand. JPEG file has a bunch of headers of what the file is, what is its resolution, what is its size. These headers can be added without the original file noticing that something has been added. And that's exactly what they did. They put malware there to tell where. So they knew that this particular scientist was getting this email, innocent email, granddaughter's birthday celebration. She's probably blowing the cake. And this thing got tagged on that, and that alerted them to the position, and he was taken out. So, so these guys were getting the hints. Look, you need to stop this, stop this.
But then I go with you, but then that's how Iran is. So you have to deal with the thing. Okay, let me get more ahead. Look, Pete Hegseth came out. He gave a lot of talk. He says our strikes are damaging the morale of the Iranian military, leading to widespread desertions and key personnel shortages. All these he's putting out. Then, of course, this is an interesting thing he said. Our defense industrial base is growing vibrant as Iran's is going down, right? So the differential is just going to continue to increase as we go further, right? And then this is the clip.
Together, we continue to
Of
deliver
Dan
precision strikes against key manufacturing nodes, component storage sites, research facilities deep within Iranian territory. And over the past 30 days, we've struck more than 11,000 targets. Given the increase in air superiority, we've successfully started to conduct the first overland B-52 missions, which allow us, as we've said before, to continue to get on top of the enemy. And as the Secretary talked about, switch towards more and more dynamic targets.
So there, everyone started yesterday, came out, he said whatever he had to say. In fact, even Admiral Brad Cooper came and spoke.
I'm Admiral Brad Cooper, Commander of U.S. Central Command, here in the Middle East with our 50,000 service members to provide my 6th update on our.
So he gave out a 6th update. I'm not going to go into it because most of them were upbeat and they were talking, a lot of prep talks and what they did and all that. But interestingly, not a single one of them spoke what they have achieved in that strike on Isfahan. That's the thing. Of course, Trump has given a very broad hint. I suppose they would be carrying out their analysis, except the clip which they put out, not much has come. So we infer from the way the body language of all these people, everyone from top to bottom, I'm sure more people are speaking about it, but I'll not get into it. Right. And this is yesterday, very again interesting. He's the CEO of JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon. He says it's much more important that this mission be successfully completed rather than think of what the market does. So a chap from the market says, forget about the market, get the jobs done. And this is the sentiment which is coming out of USA, which we need to understand. And this, I thought, is a very interesting clip. I request all of you to watch this because Nikki Haley put this across in CNBC yesterday. Right from the time Midnight Hammer took place last year to now, what is the sense of victory and loss and all that? And we'll discuss all this after this, right? Before I get on to other things, because after this, I'm going to veer off into other issues. Yeah, let me put this on.
Operation Midnight Hammer was very successful at weakening Iran. Iran has caused, we know, decades of terrorism threats, killed and wounded thousands of our Americans, so much in the region. And the fact that they were weakened, there would never be another time to get them this weak. We know that they were doing nuclear production. There's no question about that. That's verified. We know they were continuing to use ballistic missiles and test them, which was against the UN Security Resolution. We know that they've continued to support proxies to cause terrorism across the world. And so I think what happened was Trump said with Netanyahu, if not now, when? To me, it was very much like the decision when he chose to get out of the Iran deal. Everybody told him not to do it, but he knew that he needed to move through. And I think what you're seeing now is, a war where both sides winning looks different. For the U.S., winning is, are you able to extract the nuclear, the uranium so that they can't use it for nuclear production? Are you able to break down their missile, drone, and naval capabilities, which they've broken down 75% of that? And are you able to make sure that they can no longer support their proxies? That's a win for the U.S. A win for Iran, very different. It's just survival. Their idea of winning is putting political pressure, enough political pressure, and enough economic pressure on Trump and the allies that they cave. So the question in this war is who caves first?
Right.
And that's who wins.
So, who caves first and that's who wins. And, for Iran, the victory is survival. Has that happened? Is it to be questioned? Has US achieved all its objectives? To say victory is a question mark. But is this victory absolute, or will it go into the further things? Or all what these American establishment from top to bottom has said, where do we stand? That's the thing which, Shreyaji, I would like your views on this.
One line,
Oppor-
Nimrat Kaur, Tusi great ho. It's a well articulated statement, and it kind of gives you the substance of what has been happening. And I said that in so many words before we heard Nikki. And what Jamie Dimon said is significant because he's one of the biggest banks going around in the United States and perhaps the world. And if Jamie Dimon weighs in, that means he probably has sounded out his other compadres in that etherified atmosphere of CEOs of multi-billion, even trillion-dollar banks, that this is what I'm going to say. And that would probably, see, today, after that statement that he's going to address the nation tomorrow at 9 p.m., the stock market went up by 1,200 points. The Dow Jones went up by 1,200 points. It's a fairly big shift. Most of the tech companies have recovered their losses from the recent fall. And there is a sense of optimism. Plus, like you showed, the traffic has resumed in the Hormuz Straits. And this doesn't mean that it's going to keep going up. They will do fine. Something will get stopped. It's like ebbs and flows, right? Right now, it looks like Iran is regrouping. That's all I would say, sir.
Yeah, definitely Iran is regrouping at this point. This is not the end of the war. There's no victory loss in this. Let me tell you. We'll only postpone this to another day. That's my sense. Look at it from the Iranian point of view. They still have the knowledge to do all this. You can't destroy knowledge. Yeah. Right? And they have oil, which is a source of revenue, oil and gas. Right? Now, if they get a regime which changes course, fine. If they get a regime which doesn't change course, but hides their course, you see, that's the thing. If they hide the course, they hide their intent and go about doing their business again the way they have done, right? Then you are looking at a different story. This will get repeated after 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Okay. And that's the problem. And we will come to know of this as we go along. The real challenge is if Iran, there's a regime change, and the country starts looking at itself positively. With so much money, will it change the lives of their people or continue this agenda of trying to destroy Israel and trying to destroy USA? If that is their agenda, there's no victory for anyone. In fact, it's a loss for both. So there is a lot of things to go. Okay. On the other side, has USA achieved a victory? Militarily, maybe they have put Iran on the back foot at this point of time. Is this a political victory for USA? We'll have to see. Maybe at this point of time, Mr. Trump is, tempted to put it as a political victory and get going. But how will the regional architecture come as we go along? There's nothing which is clear about this. So we don't know. So for us to say that everything is hunky-dory and this is an American victory and all, we'll be completely off. Right? We have seen, in my life, I have seen how many times America has declared victory and later had to go back to the same thing. After all, 9 months back, or last year, May, the 12-day war, America said, USA Iran doesn't have nuclear weapons. Right? Their nuclear threat is gone. But 10 months later, the same threat has come up. Right? It is not as if it is not this thing. And so this debate will continue. It is for us to have a balanced view and keep going ahead. Yeah. So we'll talk of this. Now I'm going to switch tracks because there are collaterals which are happening side by side. And we need to focus on those collaterals. Right? Something interesting happened yesterday. Ukraine attacked Russia, where there's one of the largest petrochemical complexes in Russia have been hit yesterday. Okay. Now, Why am I talking of this? This is yesterday. Just go back in March this year, past 30 days, 31 days, whatever you call it. These are the Russian refineries which have been hit. I've just listed it out. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 refineries which have been hit of Russia. As a result, now the petrochemical plant has been hit. See where drone warfare is going. Ukraine, which was thought to be absolutely gone, is now hitting Russian economic targets deep, 6 to 800 kilometers, even 1,000 kilometers in depth. And as a result, from 1st April, that is today, Russia has banned export of gasoline products. They're exporting crude, but nothing like this. So you're going to have a problem, a global problem of petroleum in the long run. Now, that is where India comes in. India with its, I keep repeating this, India with its refining capacity will tide over this crisis. Okay, we will have some problems. There will be collaterals on us. On that, we should not have a doubt. But this is what it is. I just thought I'll put this point. Second point, yeah. Any views on this, Sree? Please do come in.
Sir, from a 20,000 foot level, Ukraine has found a new astra, found a new way to get through the defenses of Russia. And that's where things are. I'm sure that they're probably looking at what has been happening and how to negate it. See, are you going to cover the German Chancellor's statements?
No, I'm not. Please do that. I have not said anything. So
okay.
I'm not covering.
Well, what we will do that we'll cover that right after your flow is done, so that I don't disrupt.
No, we can talk. We're going to talk of something else now. So
okay. Then here is what it is. I need to confirm this, viewers, but German Chancellor Merz has just announced that Germany will pay for the reconstruction of the Nord Stream pipes, Nord Stream 1 and 2 pipes, and they are going to kickstart about 15 nuclear power plants. Some of them were just turned off; those will be restarted, and a whole bunch of other things are coming for the whole Europe. But Germany, I think, has said enough is enough. And Germany is 1/4 of the strength of Euro. I mean, if Germany gets cold, the Euro falls sick. So that's another indication that Europe also is taking a sudden right turn. They're also cracking down on immigration of various kinds, illegal immigration too. So this boatloads will not happen anymore. So that's what I just wanted to say, a limited point. Back to you, sir.
Oh, thanks a lot. So we'll get on to one more interesting thing which has happened in this conflict. Yesterday, Marco Rubio expressed regret that Saudi Arabians have gone to Ukraine. I think we spoke of it in passing, but that's how it is. Now, Saudi Arabia has said, look, if you can't take care of me, I will go to Ukraine. So to some extent, the first fallout for the Americans is they can't take the Gulf for granted anymore. And Saudi Arabia is going to take, its way forward to protect itself. In doing so, today it has gone to Ukraine. This is the tweet which has come out, and fine. But it opens up the game. It opens up the Ukraine-Russia game. Now, Ukraine gets an economic lifeline which is not completely dependent on USA. Right? And that means something. So that's why I said there are going to be a lot of collaterals of this which are going to happen, which are going to keep happening. And then yesterday, not yesterday, I think yesterday or day before, Pakistan's foreign minister rushed off to China. He went and had a word with them and all that. And then they came out with this statement of it's an anodyne statement which they gave 5 points without any teeth to it. There's the thing which has come from China and Pakistan. Why China? Pakistan had to go there. Maybe Pakistan was told, you after whatever happens, please come to China. Or maybe Pakistan was told, go and tell them this is what's going to happen, so that they also put some sense. Maybe it's part of the international thing. This is after the 4 foreign ministers meet yesterday, which we covered in the morning. So this has happened. So all these are happening. I mean, of course, if you see the joint statement between Pakistan and China, there's nothing much in it, right? So I thought, I'll put this, all these collaterals, your views. Do you think more collaterals are going to come out of this whole story, right?
Yes,
Uh,
indeed.
yeah, please.
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah,
indeed.
please go.
I refuse to believe that China hasn't helped Iran. Sir, somewhere China felt that Iran's defeat is its own defeat. I mean, just think about it from their point of view, right? Their spheres of influences are just going up in smoke. Latin America gone, Cuba gone, and the last one is Iran. If Iran goes, those three H's also, nothing can be done. So I have a feeling something is not coming out. There was one Lay's Real Talk video that talked about one of the people from the Politburo who was handling the entire Iran stuff, entire stuff. I only saw her mention it once, one of the Politburo members, that this is the person who is coordinating the whole effort, and then that thing just petered away. So China is, sir, why would they want to go away? Let me ask you the other way around. These people were, bringing a peace accord between Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and Iran. They were having a massive influence, or so they thought, in Middle East. Sir.
Look, I've very clearly said, and I've done a long video on this. I would request everyone to go there. There's no doubt Iran was a major strategic outpost to China. There's no doubt about it. And it was part of that CRICS alliance and this and that and all that nonsense. But the fact is, last year, when the Midnight Hammer and that 12-day war took place, China walked away. They didn't participate. So actually, China broke their own hoodoo. Then you saw Op Sindoor. You saw that event. Then you saw Venezuela. Their military, equipment has failed globally. And then they have their own problems. And I'm going to discuss this today. Today evening, my topic is only this. Why has China kept away? Because if you look at it internally in China, China has had a lot of problems. I have no doubt in my mind that initially China did help Iran. Initially, in the first phase of, I would say, first week or within the first week. Till such time, Iran was fighting USA and Israel. China was in it. The day Iran started attacking UAE, Saudis, Kuwait, Bahrain, and Qatar, China stepped out of it. They couldn't afford it. It was unaffordable. Look, simple thing. For making semiconductors, making quantum, making many things, you need helium. The two major source of helium in this world, only two. One is USA, the other is Qatar. Qatar and Iran closed. You don't get gas, you don't get helium. If that, I'm just giving you one. Leave oil, all that. And this is the unsaid part. China will suffer hugely if this Strait of Hormuz is closed. And if Iran was hitting all these fellows, there are going to be problems. Even now, there's going to be problems because Qatar facility we know is not going to open for the next 6 months. So China's taken a hit. They have just said, we'll get out. Right? Yeah. They might have been told, Pakistan might have been told, you go and tell China, this is what's happening, just keep out of it. Don't come back. We're going to sort out. So many things you can speculate. You can speculate they went and told to uprise China. It is Pakistan and China trying to show their teeth, but I don't think Pakistan had the guts to go to China if America didn't give the go-ahead. So this is the broader perspective, to answer your question. Now, there's another interesting thing which is coming up, which I thought I'll focus on. It is this. Now, people have already started thinking how to make the Strait of Hormuz irrelevant. I would say Washington Post came out with an article. It's okay. I mean, that article talks of many things, but it largely also talks in air, not very clear about what it is. But it's a thought process which has started, which is more important than the actualities. And then, of course, there is this thing which Mossad has also come out of it. In fact, in this, they've come out with a pipeline which goes, say, from Qatar right to Ashkelon, that and through Israel, Jordan, Israel. This actually follows the IMEC route. So my view is what I've been saying. I've been saying this for the past 15 days. After this war, IMEC is a reality, and we cannot, get away from it. So I'm very clear about that. Okay. So I just thought I'll put all this in a picture, and I will also, you have to understand this business of PAC mediation and things like that, which in India it has got a lot of imagination. Why is Pakistan mediating and all that? Yesterday I saw Raja Mohan and Shekhar Gupta in print having a talk. So I just picked up a extract from it and I'll play it out so that you have it and everyone gets it.
If you see the last 75 years, Pakistan weight in the Gulf has actually declined. But I think today they play a role. That's fine. I mean, you can, in the end, if anyone thinks mediators are going to fix the problem between Iran and US, I think it's fundamentally mistaken. You can facilitate something, you can create a meeting room, but the notion, look, US is the biggest power in the world. Israel now almost like a superpower. And Iran is a Goliath compared to the Arabs. These are big countries playing big games. The notion that, Pakistan will kind of get something out of this, I think it's our fears because it tells something about our insecurity rather than the real world. And finally, about Islamic NATO. Look, I think one of the great realities of the last 100 years, nobody has been able to unite the Islamic world. The war today, the argument between the Gulf Arabs, Saudis and Israel and Iran, two of the biggest Islamic countries. Today, Egypt has joined criticizing Iran. That is a reality. I mean, to think that somehow Pakistan can fix Islamic unity, which the OIC has not been able to do. Arab, unity has not been possible. Pan-Islamism has not been successful. I think it's a grand delusion, but I think we should be the last ones being worried about it because the history speaks for itself.
More than Pakistan and mediation, I think the major point he's bringing out is lack of Islamic unity. And that's the point I wanted to put out to everyone. Your views on this, Shankar, Sree.
Islam is a dividing concept, and that's what it keeps coming back to. Sir, the whole division of these are all lines in sand, General Shankar, and these were deliberately put this way because the British did a fantastic job of prospecting the oil, and they wanted it to be cut up in small portions so that they could have regional control over all this stuff. And they're still back to the tribe mindset. You have seen Lawrence of Arabia, right?
Yeah.
What has changed? 100 years since. What has changed?
Yeah,
Sir.
Nothing has changed. Okay. The last point before we take on questions is, look, everything is okay in India. Don't worry. Things are stable. It's been repeatedly coming out. Don't panic. Our LPG situation is okay. Or oil situation is more than okay. And I just keep putting this out because I do see people still panicking. Okay. I just thought I will put all this right. So with this, I have finished, and I'd like your final thing before we take comments.
So this is a pause. In my book, this is just a pause. These people have invested way too much in these concepts. 1982 is when Hezbollah started having its imprints in Lebanon. And a few years before that, the Palestinians were driven out from Jordan and they went to Lebanon. That's how Lebanon became a problem place. And they still haven't been able to shake loose of that problem. So my point in saying that is 60 years now. They have invested in this for a long time, and it's not going to go away overnight. Sir, the people's minds are poisoned. Very, very poisoned. And also, one thing I noticed, General Shankar, in the 80s, there used to be at least a trickle of students coming from Iran to study in the US universities. That's completely stopped, I'm told. You will not find any Iranian student coming. To credit to Iranian, you will not find an illegal Iranian in Western Europe or in US. They may be there as other things, but not illegal aliens. Very, very few. Very few. So there is. So you got to understand, these people have pride in their civilization, and they believe in themselves. And I've dealt with many Iranian Americans, very smart people, very, very smart people, and not to be think, oh, these guys don't. No, they are very, very smart. So why the thing is, see, okay, so there were three factions now, right? The mullah faction has been effectively taken out, the IRGC, and there is a government apparatus that has been there. After all, the bureaucracy that, like the Indian administrative services in India, Iran has something similar too. And if there is a way the other two are taken out and you leave it back to these people, and they need to go back to elections and to a working, functioning democracy, that will take 6 to 9 months. And somebody has to come in with aid to help them recover from all this stuff. Because IRGC is not going to go away quietly, General Shankar, because they will be killed on the streets, lynched to death. That's the future they are facing. So they are going to try and scorch the earth as much as possible. So this is a difficult situation for Iran. Let's hope that this goes as painless as possible. That's what I think. 6 months to a year, there's going to be some turbulence. Something will be hit somewhere. They'll accidentally catch somebody somewhere. Things are going to go. People have to take the big picture and stay the course. Over to you, sir.
Thanks a lot. You're all right. Yeah, I go with you largely because what one can't see ahead is what's going to happen, and what you can predict. What you can predict is turmoil ahead. This war has two things. One, this war has not finished. It's not over by any stretch of imagination. Trump himself says 3 to 4 weeks left. So that wait for that. We're going to continue this coverage. That's the first part. And the second part of the story is what happens after that to Iran. Whether IRGC will get lynched or not. Whether IRGC will lynch or not. You see, both can happen. Right?
Yeah.
Both can happen, and that's happened. So let's see where it goes, and we'll keep continuing to cover. Before I take on questions, there's one thing which has come out. There's some Farzana froze. Obviously, this whoever it is from Pakistan or something like that. If he is trolling, and a lot of Pakistanis stroke, some perverted characters have come and put lousy comments. We welcome it. And he says, this is why Indian generals plan Mission Sindoor was resulted. Yes, we agree with you completely. See what happened to Pakistan? Our planning, right? Op Sindoor, Pakistan was near obliterated. Next time anyone from across the border tries anything with us, don't worry, we'll sort them out. And we have sorted them out before and earlier. We'll do it again. There's a promise. And let me tell you, also, you're looking at a chap who's done that. We did it in Op Vijay. We know how to sort out the Pakistanis. And all the Pakistanis who are watching, don't think we don't know what we're talking. Right. So your views on that, and then we'll take questions.
Pakistan never really evolved as a country, viewers. You may hate to hear this from us. See, India also had, industries in their nascent phase when we became independent. But after 1991, when the IMF came in and said, you have to clear up all these things, otherwise you will not be able to compete in the society, they did clean it up. And that triggered all this. Look at IPL. I hate to mention IPL as a success story because I know there's a lot of match fixing there, but that's it's a consequence of the success. The damn thing is very good. I was looking at the jackets that they keep changing the jackets every season. By the way, they keep changing the jackets. I was looking at the design. This time it looks very cool. And rain or shine, things happen. Practically half of the country hooks onto that. People plan around this. So, and this is just one success story. ISRO, how about them? And many others. So many companies have come up. Show me one company, even a good body shop company from Pakistan. You don't find them. So you can't compete with India. You're not even on the same planet in terms of competition. I'm not bragging about India. India has a lot of challenges of its own. But you never even got into the race, boss. Are you manufacturing even 10% of your armaments? Bullets, maybe? No. Everything you're dependent on money from somebody and then arms from somebody else. And hope and pray that the two will come together.
Okay, let's take some questions. Right, we have a lot. I've got about 15, 16 questions. We can
Yes,
go
sir.
through it like a rival shot. Who will bear the cost of the war amidst inflation in the United States?
You want me to take that question, sir?
Please, go ahead.
Look, it is a problem. I will not deny it, Abraham. It's a big problem, especially since the interest payments for the $38 trillion of debt is more than the defense budget of the United States. Anytime that inversion happens, that country is in trouble. This is what history tells us. And that's where United States is today. And there are some things that the United States is trying to do. They tried to see if they could up the value of the gold to try and write down the debt. They also wanted to pay the interest at a lesser rate, but the interest rate cut is not happening because of the inflation. I think yesterday or today morning, I put out an explanation as to why, even though US is only getting 3% of its oil from the Middle East, yet the price at the pump has gone up by 25%. I did an analysis on this and I put out a monologue to take a look at that. So United States, one way or the other, is getting hit badly by inflation. They have a challenge. And when you take interest rates from 0% to 5% in a record time of 18 months, it's going to upset a lot of systems. Regional banks is what I would look at first. Regional banks, if they start failing, boy, that's going to mean, commercial estate will start failing. People will not be able to pay their loans. And it's like a domino effect that's going to happen. And I don't know how far it's going to go. People are expecting these rumblings to start as early as today, 1st April. And no, this is not an April Fool joke. This is reality. We are not doing anything here that's April Fool's Day thing. Please, everything is real here. And the date starts today. US is having some big economic headwinds. Sir.
Thanks. Ask General Shankar, sir, is there a rift between China-US relations in June 2020? Oh, forget about all that. There is. The short point is there is a rift. The outlooks of China and Russia have changed. Russia is looking at this whole story as an opportunity where they can, go to the market and sell their oil. China is looking at it differently. China is in a completely different world. So there is a problem. I'll not go into the thing. Standard practice of mullahs to using civilians as their armor so they can cry genocide when they become collateral damage. Yeah, all use the same method. There's a comment. I couldn't agree with you more. What they have done to Isfahan and its people, horrible. Just think, in the middle of a city, right? You have all these missiles and you're inviting this thing. I think it's pathetic. That's the way I look at it. Okay, could it be Iran is preparing for handling a ground invasion from US? Personally, I don't think so. Right? They would be, but I don't think so. Right. Okay. Sir, do you feel by taking the side of US, India has lost its neutrality stance? India has not even condemned the war like Russia's attack on Ukraine. Your view?
No, I don't think India has lost its neutrality stance. India is taking it as to what steps it needs to take to benefit itself. And then that's the way foreign policy must be handled, India-centric. And sometimes you have to lean one way, sometimes you have to lean the other way. They did allow Iran to shelter one of their naval boats. In fact, the last standing naval boat, last sailing naval boat, if you want, was because it was docked in India. I think it probably may have left now, or it may still be there. I don't think India has lost its neutrality stand.
In fact, India has benefited hugely by its neutrality. Look, I keep
Yeah.
saying this. India is the only country which has given a platform for Iran to speak. Not once, twice, thrice. It did so in the International Fleet Review. It did so in Raisina dialogues, and it did so during the India Today conclave. And after that, uh, Mr. Narendra Modi has spoken to Pezeshkian. He's spoken to everyone in the Gulf, and he's had an open line. In fact, he's spoken to Mr. Trump also. The entire Trump cabinet was here. So we have not taken a US stand at all. Let me clarify it. Okay. What will remain in Iran after time frame of 3 weeks? Iran will go back by 47 years. They will take decades to build. Meanwhile, people of Iran will be suffering of famine. Your views? It's a statement.
I don't think
but,
so.
Yeah.
No, I don't think they are going to suffer from famine. That's where India is can help in all these conditions. Look, they have one big source of revenue, oil. The question is that US didn't like the fact that they were taking currency other than dollar for their oil. You fix that, they may give some exceptions. Like, for example, they may say India can buy oil and give them rice in exchange. And therefore the whole thing happens in rupees, UCO bank account, that sort of stuff, which is perfectly acceptable, because
No, the UK bank account has started already.
Yes, already started. So
It's already
they will not suffer from famine. Infrastructurally, somebody needs to come and build their infrastructure back for them, meaning like even providing materials, steel, cement, whatever is missing, where they have gotten asymmetrically damaged, viewers. They have gotten asymmetrically damaged. You may have 90 components to make a car, but 4 screws, a company that makes the screws, is completely smashed up, and you don't even have the design on what the pitch should be. I'm just making it up, okay? What I'm trying to say is some elements of the industry have been completely decimated. So that requires somebody else to come in and help. And I would rather India do it than China.
Yeah. Then love these analysis. Hello from Malaysia. Thanks a lot for joining all the way from Malaysia.
Thank you.
Yeah. This is an opportunity for BRICS as an entity to get involved along with Europe and Global South politically, maybe a resolution in UN. I don't think all that will happen. Let's be very clear. That's all far-fetched. BRICS has got no locus standi in this at all. Okay. Now here's a criticism. General P.R. Shankar analysis mostly extremely dismissive of anything and everything that anyone dared to do in an impossible situation. He is mostly proven wrong ultimately. So your views on this? I must take criticism also.
No, look, I'm telling you guys, Tehran is a work of fiction, 3 seasons. And they were predicting it for 5 years that this is going to happen. 2022, 2024, 2026. 3 seasons have been aired. Okay. And what they said they were able to do in that fictional series played out on the 28th of February. That's what makes me think that whatever Israel did, their planning was 100% spot on. Yeah. What you are seeing is like, if you throw 1,000 bombs at somebody, 1 or 2 are going to sneak in. That's all you have. I mean, there are going to be deaths and casualties because of that. So yeah, but I'm sorry, General Shankar is spot on. He's taking, so 1 second, sir. He's taking the pain of putting together the headline from a particular reputed site and giving you that print also. You can take a snapshot of that and go and read the article if you want. You don't get to become a general just like that. Come on, sir. Go ahead.
See, the point I'm trying to put across to everyone is, we are not dismissive of everyone or anyone. In this entire past 30 days, I've given both sides of the story. I have also criticized the US. I've also criticized the Iranians. And like I keep saying, the only interest I have is Indian. No other interest. Okay, the rest is all nonsense as far as I'm concerned. Okay, Trump may be called a hustler for his way of doing and undoing things. Okay, I go with you. I'll not have no comments on this. Where does Pakistan figure in the US scheme of things? Why did they side with them during Op Sindhu? Arunachal, we've been answered this quite often, right? We know it now. It's that this is history. Okay. Next question: is there one report credible enough that the Iranians are doing well inside from anywhere in Iran? Your view? I don't think so.
So RKP, what has happened is this: Iranians have internet, but that internet only allows you access to your local bank, your services to the within the country. Anytime you print an IP address which is outside, like google.com, the size you are getting a 404 error. So what is happening inside is being shared using Starlink. But even for Starlink, what the IRGC has figured out with Chinese help, this is where I'm kind of disagreeing with General Shankar, with Chinese help to see what happens is Starlink uses a frequency to connect up to its satellite. So these people are jamming those frequencies. But for that, you still need to know there's a cluster of Starlink operators so that you can go and jam close to that. So some things are, back and forth. We do have some information coming out of Iran. It's just that Iranians don't know what is happening outside of them. That is the problem. Because if they knew that IRGC is taking a pasting, they'll be out on the streets. They have been 30,000, 35,000 people mercilessly murdered in the the Jan incidents. Why doesn't anybody talk about that? They have lost fewer people now than then, sir.
Yeah, General Sree, what are your views on lasting peace in the Gulf? So we just said lasting peace in the Gulf is a mirage. Okay, there's so many divisions within them. There'll never be a thing. In all this mess, how is China managing their internal fuel requirements? How did they know this is going to happen and plan? Come watch in the evening, Vishy. Evening, I'm going to do this analysis on China. Then you'll understand. I'm not going to answer you now. How many years is this Ukraine versus Russia will go on? One more decade. Why is this war super slow? It's super slow because there's no meeting point between the two. As simple as that. We don't know. The domino effect of this war might be on that war and things might come to a close, but that is to be seen. Well, right. China will reinvent, be it copy, paste, whatever. Yeah, this is a headache for India, but India need to stop looking for shoulder to fire on, put your head down and work. Your view on this?
I did a monologue on one of their chief scientists being deleted from their catalog, and he was arrested. The reason he was arrested was it is believed that a J-20, which is supposed to be the equivalent of F-35 and so on, like a stealth aircraft, this thing exploded on the test site itself. Then there is another equipment called JY-27, which is the anti-stealth detector radar. So you have a radar that is supposed to detect stealthy aircraft, and you have a stealthy aircraft. Now, if you want to have a strong radar, you should actually have an F-35 fly, and then you use this to detect that. What China is accused to have done, or this engineer is accused to have done, is he used his own stealth aircraft to test his own anti-stealth device. In other words, if there's a problem here, this is also going to be incomplete. It got exposed badly in Venezuela. JY-27. Okay. So this is the kind of problem China has. They can copy, but you can't copy something that people have, worked, devised, and improved over 30, 40 years. I mean, today, why are there only so few aircraft engine makers? Why hasn't China got its own aircraft engine? Ask yourself this question. Sir, over to you.
Yeah, fine. Pakistan's role is of a middleman, talking to all, not actively fighting and having gossip in a kitty party about what is happening in the neighborhood. Yeah, why didn't you see yesterday evening's discussion we had on Pakistan as a mediator and all that? We'll get a clear idea on this. Okay, but anyway, thanks for your comment. Hanif, thanks for your gift to one Gunner Shot membership. And then Asa, thanks for your contribution. Abhinav, US will prioritize its farm exports to Iran. No, We'll see how it goes, because it's too early to say that US will start exporting anything to Iran. Okay, that's the way I look at it. Then is the US strategy to destabilize the Gulf region, sell its oil reserves, strengthen the dollar, and reduce debt following the Venezuela-Iran gambles? Your views?
No, where Rahul, the number is too high. Okay, the number is too high. There are some things that the United States is going to do, and this has been discussed before these wars came along, Op Sindoor and this. I used to have many panelists come and talk about de-dollarization, for example, right? So one of the things that it is heading towards is some things that the United States will sell, which will be backed by gold. And we have to thank Russia and China for forcing US to do that. Because in China, in Shanghai exchange, supposing there is excess yuan with Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, excess over a period of time, say 1 year, there is surplus of yuan that KSA has after the trade. China allows KSA to deposit that excess yuan in China and get gold in exchange. So now what US is going to do, because what is happening is US is not able to sell its treasury bills anymore. So if the treasury bill doesn't get sold, what is supposed to happen is the interest rate needs to go up. But there is a law in the United States where it says that if there are no buyers of T-bills, then US's own designated banks, read JP Morgan, will buy it. But then let me ask you this question. Where does JP Morgan have the money to buy it? Who is giving them the money?
People. People. That's the Chinese trick. So far, China has been surviving like that, and that's what will happen. I suppose that's the fundamental thing. Yeah, I think we've answered, taken on a lot of questions, everything. Interesting day 32. We are on to day 33. We'll see what comes out. I'd like to thank Sree Iyerji and all of you who come today and joined in. Join us tomorrow morning back. We're going to continue this discussion, right?
Yes.
And with this, anything else you have to say, or should we say Jai Hind?
No, sir, that was wonderful, and looking forward to seeing you again very soon, sir. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, and Jai Hind to all of you.